Hello and welcome to Nintendo Everything. I'm Easy and boom, pop quiz time. Back in March we had a Nindies Direct. What was your favourite Nindie you've played so far out of that? If you were to say none, I've been too busy playing Octopath, Mario Tennis and a slew of other games, then you have not been paying enough attention because some great games have come out of that you should be playing. Fortunately, I've been playing a bunch of them and I'm here to share 3 really good ones that I think that you should be playing as well. Now the first game I want to talk about is Pool Panic. This game is a little bit adventure game, a little bit of a pool simulator, a little bit of everything really, because the genres seem to keep changing on me. It has so many levels, and every new level that I go into, it's throwing something different at me to do. So at the start, I may have just been playing pool on top of a table where I've got to knock all the other balls into the hole and then finish off by knocking the black ball in. The next thing I know, I'm enticing beavers that come out of trees by knocking barbecue meat into the ground. I'm challenging a bunch of bikers to a biker race and then trying to knock them off their bikes. I'm leading a marching band to the other side of a field to knock them down a hole. Meanwhile, a black ball is trying to do the opposite. The game just kind of keeps changing up and keeps throwing new things at me, new challenges, and every kind of challenge feels like a puzzle for me to work out. I love it. Even the world map itself is a bit of a puzzle. Just going from one side to the other isn't as simple. You have to unlock different routes. Like, I had to beat up a bunch of bikers so I could steal their bike and then ride it over a bridge so that I could knock the bridge down and then cross back and forth whenever I wanted to. There was another one where I needed this hunter to fight off these werewolves. Then I could bring that hunter with me to get these werewolves out of another location so I could get into somewhere else. It's so amazing how much different stuff this game just throws at me. And just when I think I've been playing it for a while, I'm still right at the start of the game. There are so many levels here to go through and so many challenges. Like, if you're going through each level, you can choose to do all the extra challenges, like not fall down the hole, get all the balls, because there's not only the balls that you see, there's hidden balls in every level that you kind of got to find and get out of their holes or wherever they're hiding. There's a time limit challenge as well. There's a challenge to make sure that you get all the balls within a certain amount of hits. There's just a lot of challenge to this game. So I haven't been doing all these extra challenges because they are hard. But even without doing all this extra stuff, there's still so much for me to do. And the game has such an interesting art style that I just kind of am struggling to peel myself away from this game at the moment. Anyway, I've got to stop talking about Pool Panic because I'll probably just keep talking about it. But instead, I want to talk about the next game on my list. Now, this game you play as a chicken who can lay bombs. Yes, I'm talking about Bomb Chicken. This game's like part Captain Toad, part Bomberman, all in the 2D kind of environment. But don't let these retro 2D graphics fool you. This isn't just your plain old Jane game. This is something unique and it's actually something really fun. To get through these levels, you're not going to be running and jumping, you're going to be walking and laying bombs. You see, laying bombs actually lays them underneath yourself, which builds you up higher. It's kind of like jumping, but not jumping, just kind of like walking up a ladder. And then these bomb stacks that you make, you can either use them to kind of get to higher platforms, or you can kick them along the ground, which at that point is either going to slide into an enemy, or maybe slide into some crates or rocks that you want to destroy, or even open up like secret paths and things that you want to get to. While it sounds kind of simple to begin with, the game kind of expands and then expands again on that idea, giving you lots of different ways to use it, as well as it scatters plenty of collectible crystals for you in secret locations and places that you kind of got to travel off the beaten path to find. And the whole thing doesn't just take place in this factory either, it kind of starts to expand into other locations. There's also times that like a giant blade chainsaw thing was chasing me and I had to do this kind of escape sequence and get out of there as fast as possible. Kind of like something out of the start of a Metroid game. While the game doesn't take the crazy notch and turn it up to 10 like Pool Panic does, it's still fairly crazy and out there and combines some really unique puzzle and platforming challenges of its own. So it's definitely worth you guys checking this one out as well. Moving on to the last of the 3 games that I want to talk about today, it's Luminous. This game has come out on a bunch of other platforms and a bunch of other varieties, so you may have played this game before in one of its other iterations, or maybe even this one, but it's definitely one that I want to give a shout out because I played this originally on the Vita and I fell in love with the game. It's just one of those puzzle games that gets you hooked and wants you to keep coming back for another round and another round. The game itself is kind of like playing Tetris, where only square blocks fall, and with this really, really musical overlay. And the music is kind of what makes this game, because not only is it constantly changing the song that you're playing, and everything, all your interactions with this game, whether it be performing combos or just pressing buttons, is kind of infusing with this music to kind of create the track. But then it assaults you with visual sensations from every angle as you're kind of progressing through these music tracks as well. And it's not just all the same type of music. As I'm kind of progressing through this, it goes in really weird directions. and it can affect how you play the game. Like every level, it can either be faster or slower, it can clear lines faster or slower, and that's another thing I should mention is actually how the gameplay works. So the square blocks that are falling down come in 2 colours, and as you match 4 or more of the same colour in a square pattern or rectangle, it clears them as you see this line coming across the screen. Now the more you clear, you're actually going to start building up combos, and these combos can multiply your score. And what makes this really interesting is that your score is what determines how far you're progressing through this game, when the music is going to change again. So the better you're doing, the faster you're going to progress through this game. And when you first pick up this game, you're just going to be struggling thinking, how am I going to clear blocks and stay alive? And then when you start to pick it up and you start to get better and better at it, which doesn't take long, eventually you start throwing down blocks as fast as possible because you want to build up your combo. And you want to have as many blocks down as possible so that you can keep clearing them. And it's a careful balancing act of how many blocks can I have down so I can keep clearing them, and how many is too many that I just can't keep up with my own speed here. So in the end, Luminous ends up being one of those games that I kind of recommend as a supplementary game. It's one of those games like Picross that I'd like to have there at night when I come home and don't feel like just getting into anything big, so I can just sit down, maybe lay in bed and play a round of this or a round of Picross and just relax. I said this is not relaxing. Do not try relax with this game. Anyway, that is going to do it for 3 games that I want to shine my Eric spotlight down onto. But I want to hear what you guys think of these games. Have you played them? Are you liking them? Did this video make you any more excited for them? As for me, there's still one more game that I'm really excited for that we heard about back in this Nindies Direct, Spotlight, whatever it was called. And that was The Messenger. This 2D platformer looks really cool, and ever since Celeste, I've just kind of had this hankering for more 2D platformers, and I just can't kind of get enough of them. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Remember, like button, subscribe button, you do you, and for everything Nintendo, stay tuned to Nintendo Everything.